You've never seen my hair like this, have you? By the way, welcome back. I was fiddling with it. I slept with it wet last night. And when I get up, it looks like this. And if I brush through it, it's worse. So I haven't brushed it, but it's clean. It might not look like it. It probably looks like a tangled mess. I just really didn't want to do anything with it today. I'm working from home again today because of the snow. It snowed some more. And I'm just like, I don't want to do my hair. It takes almost 30 minutes to do my hair, straighten it. Also, I bet you're shocked that I switched out of my green sweater into my black. The green is my favorite, I have to say. It's really thick. The yarn of it is really thick and it's heavy and it's bulky and it's so comfortable. Just something about it. And it actually keeps me warm. Unless I go outside and it's cold, then the wind goes through the holes in the sleeves or whatever. So before I got on here, I was thinking, okay, what am I gonna talk about? And I always just like rack my brain all day. But one thing I would like to talk about, my sister gave me my father's phone number. I am 54 and I hadn't spoke to him since I was 21. So 32 years, 33 years. My adding and subtracting sucks. I apologize, but I'm sure you know about roundabout. I had my first daughter when she was just a newborn. Is the last time I seen him. He came down, I think the same day that I was discharged from the hospital. I might be wrong, but I do know for a fact she was not even a week old. And he stayed one day, and it was very, very sad. And that was the last time I seen him. My sister, during that time, refused to give me his phone number, his address. My stepmom blocked their phone number where I couldn't call anymore. And when they moved, I still wasn't given their address. Now, what I tried to talk to them about and during that time was my mom would always put me up to call my dad for money. It wasn't just me. I don't think I ever called him for money personally for myself. But my mom would put me up to it. And whenever she would leave her men, she would say, call your dad. And he's not even my biological dad. She lied to me. So she used him too. In more ways than one, actually. But she would tell me to call him and ask for money. And more or less, she didn't care what I had to say to get it. And 99.9% of the time, it was for her. And so my sister didn't like that. My dad didn't like that. Well, I don't know about my dad. My dad never told me that he didn't like that. My dad never told me to not call him. My dad never told me anything like that. And my stepmom, of course, was jealous of me and jealous of my mom. And so that created a bunch of problems. And it was traumatic hell for me because at that time I didn't know he wasn't my biological father. He wasn't the best father. He wasn't around often. He would come up missing on purpose when I was growing up, and then he was just never around. But when he was the best thing in my life. He was the most positive person in my life. The only positive person in my life. It made me sad. It really affected me for a very long time that he was kept from me. I not once heard from him and stating that, please don't contact me anymore. This is how I feel, blah, blah, blah. And for some reason, I still believe that it was out of his control. I do believe that my sister and stepmom kept him from me on purpose. There's more of that entails. He ended up having a heart attack, and my stepmom claimed that she didn't want me around to cause him any trouble and risking him having another heart attack. And I'm like, you can't keep anybody away from a family member if both parties aren't for that. For some reason, all these years, I always knew that he wasn't a part of that. That I feel like maybe they lied to him and said something to make him feel like I wanted nothing to do with him. I don't know. But recently, he was diagnosed with the Lewy body dementia. He's losing control of his body and his memory. His memory's getting worse and worse. He can barely get around. My sister's trying to force him into a wheelchair, and he cries, and she feels that he shouldn't be crying. She doesn't understand. And I'm like, a part of him is still there. He's a grown man, an older man. But it's hard for a man to sit here and feel, I once was a viable man who was able to do anything, and now I'm being forced into a wheelchair. I'm sure it's hurting his ego. She doesn't understand that. She feels like he shouldn't be crying, he shouldn't be upset. And all that kind of bothers me too. I'm not there. He's in Dallas. Thursday, when I have time, I will call him. I've had his number for maybe a week. And I'm not nervous. And actually, I don't even know why I haven't called him. I think that with my mentality going bonkers lately, I feel that I need to be in a better head place. And from what my sister says, sometimes when he talks, it doesn't make sense. And if I'm going to call him, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lengthy conversation, pretty long. And I need to have time to do that. I can't do it on a work night because I go to bed early, get up early. So Thursday will be the next day that I'll have to be able to call him. I don't think he'll remember it the day after. I might be wrong because I'm not there. I don't see the things that he's going through or feeling or anything. And so I don't know. But now that I have his number, I'm going to call more than once, of course. But something tells me that he's not going to be around much longer. That bothers me because I've lost so much time with him. And there's no way I'll ever get that back. I will never, ever get those times back that I could have been with him. It's very sad for me to think about it. And now when I have the opportunity to see him, half of him isn't there. And that's traumatizing for me also. It really is. The way my sister told me, she made it sound like he's the one that said, give her my phone number and have her call me. I don't think it went like that. I think that it went a whole different way. In what way, I'm not sure. But why would my dad say that now and hasn't all this time? Or has he all this time, but finally she gave it to me? I don't know. None of it makes sense to me. Not a bit of it makes sense to me. So I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. That's for sure. He'll be 80 this year. No, 79 this year. Yeah, 79 this year. And when I saw him last, my sister and I were on a video call. And she bought the land that I had because I needed the money. And so I was showing her the land, and he was there before she put him in a home. And I'm not downing her for putting him in a home because that's a lot of work, and she works a lot. So I'm not downing her for that. But he was at her house, and this is before she put him in. And he saw me, and he comes over and he starts crying. And he said something along the lines of, I miss her or something. And he started crying. And my sister looked at him and was like, are you crying? Why are you crying? And I sat there and I'm like, oh, maybe he's crying because he considered me his daughter, and it's been a very, 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 very long time since we've seen each other. Why would you down him for crying? It doesn't make sense. It was like she was degrading him. That bothered me, but I did not dare say anything in fear of never being able to see my dad again at all. And then he kind of got up, walked away from the computer, and sat back down. I don't know if it's because my sister was in his face saying, "Why are you crying?" And he had to get away from that, or if he had to get away from that because he was sad. I don't know. I can't speak for him. Looking back at how the last time I seen him, he had dark hair, hardly any wrinkles whatsoever, and he was the goofiest person I knew. He was full of energy. He was building houses, and he was a businessman. He was a very viable man. And when I seen him on that video, that broke my heart, because I'm like, there is such a huge gap from the last time I seen him to the time I saw him on video that I'm missing, that I'll never get back. And I'm like, that is such a jump change. Drastic. And I almost wanted to start crying. I considered him my dad, although he was never really around, but the two stepdads I had abused me in every way, so heck yeah. He was a better dad. At least he didn't abuse me at all. He was better than my mom. He was the most positive in my life. He didn't bully me, but my stepmom pushed his buttons pretty hard, and he would whip me out of that. He did about pushing me down the stairs, but that was because I had enough. I had ran away. No, I hadn't ran away yet. I got grounded, and I was trying to explain to him why I shouldn't be grounded. I had homework to do, but I had chores to do. I thought my homework was more important. I think I did half of my chores, then I was trying to do homework because my sister's boyfriend was there and he was going to help me. My stepmom comes home and realizes I didn't finish my chores, so she grounded me. And I tried to tell her, wait a second, I was trying to do my homework. I still have time to do my chores. The next day I was supposed to go to Six Flags. And so I kept telling her and my dad, this isn't right. I still have time to do my chores. The whole situation wasn't right. And I don't remember what took place upstairs where we all were, but my dad got really mad. And I think because I had enough. My stepmom was extremely mean to me, and he never done anything, and I just had enough. And I think I was screaming, but I'm not 100% sure. But he grabbed me and he pushed me down the stairs, but I caught myself. And when I got down to the bottom of the stairs, I went straight out the front door and I ran away for like 3 days. Nobody come looking for me. Nobody cared. Not one person cared. Him being so youthful, and now the way he is, it hurts. It hurts a lot. No, I'm not fixing to cry. My throat was crackling for some odd reason. I don't know. I don't know why. Well, I'm going to end this here. I kind of wanted to talk about it, and when I call him, of course, I'll let you know. And this was a video. Again, something came to mind. I hope you enjoyed it, at least. It does help to get it out, and I have nobody else to talk to about it. So you all are my friends, so you're stuck listening to me. So I love you guys tremendously, and I'm going to give you all love, light, and peace. Bye.